Bakugan Battle Brawlers, the game, is based off an anime which is currently still a popular series in the States, with the final season, Mactanian Surge, only being aired here in the United States and Canada respectively. What intrigued me on playing this game was its simple approach to gameplay mechanics and some simple yet interesting customization elements also added in. The story of this game takes small plots from the show's first season, which adds your created main character, which I will get into in the gameplay portion, stumbles across this one particular Bakugan by the name of Leonidas when he falls from the sky. He immediately becomes friends with the main character, and from there on, the story will have you meeting all sorts of characters from the show, with added characters made specifically for the game. The plot itself is not the best, and if anything, is nothing special. However, this does not mean it's not interesting. Leonidas seems to have a very aggressive approach to himself personality-wise, but you find yourself realizing he's misunderstood, even when at one point in the story people are criticizing your Bakugan for a certain thing that happens midway through the story. What I find disappointing is there is not enough cutscenes. The cutscenes and voice acting when these show up are really well done. I was surprised by the quality of them, considering the type of game this is. Even with that said, other characters don't add much value to the plot either, but mostly follow the formula of trying to be the best Bakugan brawler. I can't say the story is great, but it's not bad. I think that even if you have not seen the show before, or if you are a fan of the show, but had second thoughts on the game, I still think its plot works well for what it's trying to do. And if anything, it makes the game seem like an anime episode being played out by you, which is really cool considering that you can make your own character for the story itself. Speaking of making your own character, this is what pulled me into the gameplay initially. The character creation, while really limited, reflected pretty well when you first start out the story. What is interesting to note is that you cannot make a female character in this game, which I do find strange. Later on in the game, you are allowed to fully customize your character with other clothes, shoes, and other cool items. Bakugan battles play out in a semi-card style approach where you and your opposing player has to be the first to collect 3 gate cards. What they do to somewhat keep the game fresh is to include mini games in order to allow your Bakugan to power up during these fight scenes. These mini games are alright, but honestly with the 6-axis being used, it's still annoying. You start out each battle deciding where to throw in your Bakugan on the field. Your Bakugan can move over this space to a gate card where it can have added spells of different kinds depending on the type of elemental Bakugan you have. Later on in the gameplay will evolve even more with having other added effects on the field. This is where leveling up and other things play an important role in the game. The main town screen is where you can buy new Bakugan at the shop, fight other Bakugan players in the park, customize your character and save your progress at your home, and fight in tournaments to progress the story further. In the park is where you can play 3 different types of gameplay styles. There is one-on-one combat, team battles, and battle royale. I find battle royale to be challenging because of the fact that you have 3 other characters who are also trying to be the first to get 3 gate cards. The other battle types are in my opinion pretty easy. If anything in the gameplay I had an issue with was how easy the game is. It can be a breeze to go through the enemies during tournaments, but that's really where most of the challenge comes in. The music while in fights is okay as well, but it does not leave a lasting impression. The gameplay itself overall is a simple yet fun game to play, and while it's not anything innovative, it is a game that is really easy to get into. Bakugan Battle Brawlers is indeed a very simple game more catered to kids, but I did find the game somewhat fun to play and a game that will indeed cater to the Bakugan crowd for sure. The story itself is not too long and can be completed in about 10 hours or so, depending on how long some of the fights play out, and buying all of the different Bakugan elements in the game does also add in some replay value. Thanks again guys for joining me on this review of Bakugan Battle Brawlers the game. This was the PS3 version in the review. I'm Forrest and I will talk to you guys later.